Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
This is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito and Crime.
After Hours. Hola. So today we are...
What was that?
What the fuck was that?
Hola.
Hola. Today we are obviously after hours. So we got a little drink.
We got a little drink. Esta vez we made... Last time we were doing margaritas or...
Truly's.
Truly's. This time...
Not sponsored, but we should be.
We should be because that's all we
drink.
We made espresso martinis.
Espresso martinis because we wanted to stay in the Cafecito theme. Clink, clink.
Te iba a decir real quick before we start, I was on YouTube and I was watching Wired's YouTube episode. Mm-hmm. And a veces they bring like experts and, you know, people ask them questions on Twitter about the field that they're in, right?
Cool.
So I was watching this guy, I can't remember his name, but he's a coffee expert. And somebody in their question on Twitter said something about espresso, but he said it like in the tweet said espresso. And then the guy, the expert, he was like,
no,
you know, I'm gonna correct you, you know, it's espresso, but in French, it is espresso.
So then I was saying it right the whole time?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, me cagas, güey.
Yeah, I know, but like, I take it back.
Take it back, please,
I
right
take
now.
It back.
And apologize.
I apologize.
And I do not accept your apology. My pleasure. Well,
you accept my apologies.
Let's get started with today's episode.
Yes. Grab your cafecito, grab your espresso martini, grab whatever.
Because es la noche.
Porque ya es de noche.
So
Pero if you want to listen to it in the morning, so grab your cafecito. If you want to drink it en la tarde, grab your cold brew, whatever.
Whatever you want.
Lo que tú quieras. Agua, té, Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, Corona.
Yeah.
Not sponsored, but should be.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get started.
Well, let's get started. What you got for us?
Okay. So for today's episode, we're going all the way to Japan.
Órale, güey.
See, like...
I've never been to Japan in my whole life.
Me either.
But that's awesome.
And neither had Cafecito and Crime until today.
Wow. Welcome to Japan, Cafecito and Crime. How do you say... I wonder how you say cafe or coffee in Japanese.
Look it up.
We should look it up.
Okay, let's look it up.
Let's look it up.
Okay, so Barbie pulled it up, and this is how you say coffee in Japanese.
Coffee.
Coffee. So yeah, whenever I go to Japan, si Dios quiere un día, I'm already gonna know.
I already know.
Coffee to the people. I'll be like, konnichiwa.
Coffee. Dude, that sounds like...
There you go.
That sounds too close to coger. I would be like, coffee. They'll be like, what
No,
are you saying?
Te van a entender, pero
No,
aquí
way.
te van a dar otra cara.
That is so awesome. Okay, so what's up in Japan?
Okay, so... The little interesting fact that I found out about Japan.
We need to find a fucking, name. ¿Cómo le vamos a decir? Le vamos a decir interesting fact, fun fact.
Fact.
I don't like that. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll discuss later. This case takes place in the city of Kyoto.
Kyoto.
Sí. And the fact about Kyoto is that it was the capital of Japan for 1,000 years.
Okay.
Like a whole ass millennium.
Yeah.
Not 100 years.
1,000.
1,000.
That's
Así,
a lot.
mil años.
Yeah, that's a lot.
From the year 794 to 1868. It's a lot of years, ¿verdad?
Mm-hmm. But you're acting like it's not anymore.
No, because in that same year of 1868, Tokyo became the capital after a political revolution ended the reign of the military government.
Stop it. So they changed the whole ass capital. Like, oh, bitch, you're not the capital no more.
Yeah.
You're the capital now.
Yeah, the government became centralized and like it worked around an emperor and it was for the people. So Tokyo represented a fresh start to a new nation that they were trying to build. So they're like, we're done with Kyoto, new Tokyo now.
That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
That is very interesting.
But it looks beautiful, like just full of shrines and temples. And it's called the Ancient Capital, which it looks awesome.
Okay, maybe we should go.
Oh, yeah, I want to.
We will take Cafecito and Crime on the field.
International.
International.
Well, internationally, right now we're international from your garage.
We're international in Houston.
Yeah. Okay, so this case, I believe it's our first arson case.
Yes.
I don't think we've done uno que de alguien se quemado de lumbre o algo así.
No, I don't think
¿verdad?
so.
Okay, so...
A lot of chopping up people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Today's case is about the Kyoto Animation Studio Arson Massacre.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about the studio primero and how it came to be what it was when this happened. So Kyoto Animation Studio, known as Kyo Ani, Kyoto Animation. So Kyoto
I get it.
You get it?
You're so smart.
Yeah. No, that's not me. That's just how it's done.
They're so smart.
Was founded in, I think, 1881. Like, they got together to kind of, like, they started doing some work. But in 1890, Dios mío, ayúdame. In 1885 is cuando it became like an actual company. Like, they came together and be like, oh, this is going to be a company.
Okay.
And it was founded by a married couple, Yoko and Hideki Hata. Now, Yoko had experience working as a painter of cells for like a different studio. So ella tenía experiencia. And she and her husband would paint cells for different studios, like contract work.
Okay, wait. Cells? What does that mean?
I think it's like coloring cells, like for animation, like así como coloreando.
Te miras bien pendeja right now. I just
You
want
guys
to
can't
know,
see my movements, but I'm like trying to
trying to draw on her hand.
On my hand. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming here.
So like on
cartoons, like anime.
Okay, is that I guess like a set or something?
Or like
that's what they call a cell.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, whatever.
Correct us if we're wrong. I mean, that's just what I'm assuming here.
I'm not an artist, so I wouldn't know.
So like I said, ella y su esposo would paint cells for a different studio, and they eventually would ask friends of Yoko, like other housewives, if they would help them, with their contract work.
Okay.
To help them paint cells.
I can just imagine, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but like whenever I think Japan, all I think about is fucking like not Mulan, but like how they have little rooms and then the little doors and they're all wearing kimonos. They're so gorgeous, and that's all I can think of. And cherry blossoms everywhere.
And
so pretty. Yeah,
so
kind of like Mulan.
So como le preguntaron a las otras housewives, they agreed. So pasando el tiempo, it kind of grew into like a little group. So they ended up growing, and over the next decade, they went from I'm sorry, I didn't even say. Well, I missed this whole part, pero they would call, when they were like smaller, they would call themselves, or the company was called Kyoto Anime Studio. And as they grew like bigger, they changed it to Animation Studio, Kyoto Animation Studio.
Okay.
They went from painting cells to more serious work that included background art for big anime shows, and they were in charge of the key animation for other productions. Like they were like the main ones that would design the anime for different shows.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to call it KyoAni because it's a little bit shorter than, so I'm going to refer to it as KyoAni. Eventually produced their own work. It just opened like a whole bunch of doors for them in that field of animation. Bigger companies would reach out to them to be co-producers, and they would eventually become a household name. They produce, like now, and even that's how they started. They do slice of life anime, which is just mainly about teenagers and their school life and like day-to-day things that they might be going through. Mostly, those are the type of shows that they produce the most.
Kind of like I've seen a lot of the animation. I don't know, my daughter is into that, but like I've seen a lot of them. They show them like when they go to school and how they eat and their lunches and stuff like that. Okay.
I believe one of their most popular works are a series called Clanad, K-On, Sound Euphonium, Free, and many, many more. And I know this one movie on Netflix, which I just asked your daughter about if she had seen it. I know one of my other nieces, are the oldest one. I had asked her if she had seen it, and she said that it was good. And she told me about it a couple of years ago. I don't remember if it was before COVID. I want to say it was, but it's called A Silent Voice, and it's on Netflix. And she said that it's really good. And then I asked my youngest brother, and he said he had seen it and that it was really good.
Oh yeah, and my daughter says she doesn't want to watch it because it's sad.
It's sad, yeah, and it's critically acclaimed, that movie.
Wow,
so it's pretty good. Yeah, so they're big.
That's cool.
And they also have series that have been picked up by Netflix for like their global market. So
they're a big company.
They're like a small studio because I believe it was only like 170 employees at the time of the Massacre, the Arson. So it's like I guess you want to say, and when you think of a big company, you think like a ginormous,
like Amazon and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But they were known. Like
175 people or 107. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Yeah. So not only is the studio loved for its great work, but also because it's a very progressive company to work for. Usually animators in Japan are men.
Wow. Okay.
And most of them are paid by frame. So frame que terminas, frame que te pagan. Pero KyoAni would actually pay their animators an actual full salary.
So they were like employed. Like they had, okay.
Which would lessen their stress, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and they already, I mean, by what I've heard, I don't know because I don't know a lot about it, but what I heard, they do go through a lot, like a lot of stress, and they're worried about like their education and stuff. So
for
especially like being something like art in the art industry
and
cool.
animation industry. They also have female animators, which is not very common.
Pero pues, what are you talking about? We're so good at drawing. Not me personally, but
not I.
I mean,
suck.
arty people.
I draw that sun in the corner, así.
Con la little happy face.
Yeah.
Y luego remember cuando pintabas la casita, it had like a triangle and a rectangle?
Yeah. Abajo.
I feel you, girl. I've been there. As a book, I do.
Now, at the time of the Arson attack, the studio employed twice as many women than men animators. So they were like on it. Like they were making sure that people that...
I can't imagine like having more men artists than women, because we are very artistic.
That's the thing. They employ more women than men, which is awesome. I mean,
that's awesome because it was breaking like traditions and stuff. So that's good.
Yeah. And to this day, Hideki Hata, which is and Yoko, which were the ones that started the company, he remains CEO. And Yoko is COO, which means that she still has the final say on any project.
Right now, like
the company.
In 2023.
Since they co-founded the company till now, they still are head of the company and they're very involved in the company.
Pues qué buena onda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because you usually don't see that I'm aware, you know, maybe because it is a smaller company, but, you know, they started.
I feel like the Japanese culture, they're very, like, once they start something, like, they stick to it. So, a lo mejor por eso
and it's something that they love, you know.
And they love it, and they're passionate about it. And I think that is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take a quick break. Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser! He's gonna shoot!
Oi! Shot fired! Shot fired!
Stay out! You gotta go on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
Now, KyoAni had different buildings, okay? But the arson took place in Building 1, or Studio 1. It was located in the Fushimi ward, which is like a residential area. And it was 3 stories, and it was where the mainline production takes place.
So it had 3 buildings in the, like, todos estaban juntas o como?
No, they were separated. They were scattered throughout the city. One was like 1 mile here. El otro estaba 1 mile here.
Okay, yo pensé que estaban todos como en un compound, like in a cluster.
Or like a hospital que has different buildings or whatever, but they're like next to each other. No, like this building 1 was in a specific location, and it was like in a residential
like you said,
area.
Another one's a mile away. Okay, got it. Okay, sorry. I just was kind of painting a picture.
I'm sorry. I should have made that clearer, but like I said, it was where the main line production took place. So it's where like characters were designed, where storylines were created. Like,
I mean, that was like the main campus, like the main building or whatever.
Yes.
Okay,
where the work happened. Now on
where the magic happened.
Exactly. Now on Thursday, July 18th of 2009, over 70 employees were inside Studio 1 working. Like a regular day, you know? Así como un día que tú te vas a tu pinche trabajo and then you're just
Can't
there.
relate.
At around 10:30. So at around 10:30 a.m., a man entered the building through the front door.
In the morning, bitch.
En la mañana.
Wow.
And started pouring gasoline on the floor, on the front doors.
The fuck?
On the spiral staircase.
And they must have been really pretty in there. Me lo imagino como bien blanco, like everything real clean and like so artistic.
Y yeah, on the staircase. I'm sorry. I was trying to read here.
Se privó, se atoró.
It is reported that he even started pouring it on some people.
What the fuck?
And obviously employees were just like...
I'll be like, bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you?
They were like, dude, what the... You know, like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're trying to work and stuff.
Y me están echando gasolina. Apenas me está entrando el café a las 10. Yes. En las venas.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
The man then pulled out a lighter and yelled something along the lines of, die, or you need to die, and ignited the gasoline.
With him? ¿Él también o no?
Yeah, él también estaba dentro.
Él también se echó gasolina?
No, well, he got caught in the in the fire. So like flames everywhere, way.
No
like
mames.
Immediately. And as soon as he lit it, there was an explosion. And this is actually corroborated by, like I said, it was a residential area. So la gente andaba viviendo alrededor del building. So
what the fuck?
People heard, he was like, we heard an explosion. Y cuando the explosion happened, within like 25 seconds, the whole second floor was on fire. And like a minute after that, the whole third floor was on fire. So like within 2 minutes, this whole building caught on fire.
Maybe the material de lo que estaba hecho
the hardware
or something. Because ya ves como, I'm not trying to say que we can compare it to, but you know how, like, for example, the Twin Towers, they were saying que it would hit, like, the way that it was structured, it actually burned a certain way because of the way that they had it structured. Maybe that was the way that was structured. I don't know. I don't know that kind of stuff, but I'm not an arson expert or a firefighter, but I'm just saying. Like, maybe that's why, because, I mean, estaba tan caliente or something?
See, it's because the studio, I know I said it was like a 3-story building, but it was small. Like, it was compact. It was just...
Well, there's not a lot of space in Japan, right?
Yeah, it's overcrowded and stuff. So no estaba grandote. It was, like I said, it wasn't very big. And that's why the fire spread so quickly. Yeah. So there was like...
And if it can't go sideways, it's going to go up.
Up, yeah. Smoke was everywhere. It's just thick and black.
¿Te imaginas que trabajes en el tercer piso? Like, ¿cómo le haces? Like, how do you get down?
Yeah. And, with this whole fucking smoke, it was hard for people to see. You couldn't even see where you were fucking going. People on the first floor tried to go up the exits. Pero he had like heavily poured gasoline on the exit. So you couldn't even go through the fucking exits.
He knew.
I mean, yeah. So people tried to go up to the other floors, from the first floor. People tried to go to the second floor. From the second floor, people were trying to go up to the third floor. Employees were jumping out of fucking windows, breaking bones. People on fire were jumping out of windows. And, people were seeing this. The people that lived like...
Pues eran las 10 de la mañana, güey.
Yeah. Others were trying to make their way. There was a stairwell on the third floor that led to the roof. Mm-hmm. And people were trying to make it to the roof because there was a door to the roof. So they thought maybe if they got up to the roof, they could just wait it out hasta que llegaron los firefighters and they could be rescued.
I can't imagine what I would do in that situation.
Like, imagínate.
No, I don't know what I would do. Like, for real. I would, like, I don't know. First of all, I couldn't run. I don't run fast. I mean, I can't even imagine, like, in that stressful situation, like, te tiras, no te tiras, like, what do you do? Like, do you just burn? Like,
I feel like I would throw. I can't burn, bitch. I would throw myself. I feel like I would, like, if it came down to it.
That's what you would do. I think that I would do that too. Yeah. Like, I would just be like, a ver qué vergas pasa. I mean, I'll die, or a ver qué.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die anyway. Because a lot of people die just from smoke inhalation. And stuff.
Carbon monoxide poisoning. Yeah, for sure.
That. No, pobrecita gente.
So the firefighters and medical help made it to the scene and quickly started, their efforts to, getting people out and putting out the flames. Of course, there was like a medical triage that they made. Like, they had like a parking area behind the building, and they built like a triage like on the side of it. So people that were making it out of the building, either...
So by this time, the firefighters are trying to stop the fire, like echándole agua y la madre.
And trying to get people out, because remember, people were jumping. Mm-hmm. So like I said, they built that little triage on the side, and they were just kind of seeing who needed to go to the hospital, how bad their injuries were. A man ran out of the building and collapsed like about 100 meters, which is like over 300 feet away from the building. And witnesses say that he, like, behind him, there was like bloody footprints, and he had like burns all over his body.
Oh my God.
A witness said that his hair was like singed off.
Oh my God.
And can you imagine cómo huele, like, pelo quemado?
Huele pelo quemado. Yeah.
Or like skin
whenever
burning.
You burn your fucking hairs because
I get laser in my underarms, and that should fucking be stinking. I can't even imagine like a whole body. Now, the man was being followed by other employees of the building that actually managed to follow behind him.
But these people were coming out through the front door.
Yes.
Okay.
So estaban quemados. Oh, they had injuries.
Oh my gosh.
And when these employees were following this man and he had collapsed on the floor, se quedaron con él hasta que they, got the attention of the police officers que habían llegado, and they called them over. And the police were told that man that was on the floor was the one that had started the fire.
Salió el compa.
Se salió el güey.
El amigo
Corrió.
Salió.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Now, we'll get back to him in a little bit, right?
Did he collapse and die? Like, I hope he collapsed and died. I mean, I'm not trying to hope I'm not trying to, como dijo mi daughter, prey on their downfall. But I'm just thinking, like, bro, you just look at the mess you did.
Yeah. 36 people had been taken to the hospital for their injuries, and some were in critical condition because of burns that they'd had, smoke inhalation, and all of the above. Like, some people were
Do you
burned.
imagine the fucking pain, dude, of a burn? Like, I can't even, like...
I wonder if your body registers that right away, because you
right
must
away.
be in shock.
I'm pretty sure
And
you're
adrenaline's
in shock.
running,
and adrenaline's running. You're trying to save yourself, whatever. You probably don't feel it, but after, dude, imagine, porque, like, even when you, like, put on a Band-Aid, I'm not trying to compare it, but when you put on a Band-Aid, you peel the Band-Aid off, like, your skin peels off.
Cuando you have a burn y que te la tapas, or just like que te cae como...
Bro, a tattoo.
Yeah.
When you're peeling a tattoo, how much it burns. Like, it hurts. Imagine, like, a fucking... Ay, no. Pobrecita gente.
So, like I said,
and these are all young people. I mean, we're talking about, like, in...
Most of them were young. Most of them, it said later, most of them were in their 20s, 30s. And maybe, like, a couple of people here, 40s. But mostly young people.
Young people.
At least in this building, in Studio One. Mm-hmm. And like I said, 36 people were taken to the hospital. They had burns and broken bones because they had kind of like burned some and then jumped out of the window and broken some bones of second and third stories. It would take firefighters over 4 hours to get the flames under control.
That doesn't mean that they stopped it.
But it would be until 6 a.m. the next day when the fire would be completely put out.
What the fuck?
And I'm gonna show you a video real quick of how black the smoke looked and thick. It looks fake. To me, it looks fake, but it's scary.
Well, do you think that it's because of what the materials that they used to make the building and that's why it burned so fast?
I don't know.
Because if it's burning that black, I mean, like I said, I'm not a specialist or I'm not a firefighter, but what I'm asking is, like, do you think that that's why it burned so quickly?
I don't know. To be honest, but it lit up in flames.
Wow. Like, Estela just pulled up the video and it's literally in the middle of like apartments, complexes, I'm guessing like houses. Pero it looks like it's an animation, like it's so fucking fake.
Right, it's not big. It's not a big building.
No, está como largo.
It's just a little bit more on the white side.
Wider, yeah. Pero like, what the fuck? I can't believe that this happened just with
gasoline.
That is crazy. Oh, they had the staircase. I see the staircases that I was talking about. But I'm looking at it and that thing went quick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So when they were able to kind of like see the area, like look around after some of the flames had been put out.
Yeah.
They found a backpack containing a hammer and 6 knives.
Not the knives.
Knives, which at the time were believed to, I mean, who the fuck would leave this here, but the perpetrator, the person who...
6.
He
needed 6? Was he an octopus or what the fuck?
You'll find out why later. He said that he needed 6. So when the firefighters made it inside the building the next morning, like I said, it is then that they found the bodies of the victims that did not make it out of the building. There were 2 bodies on the first floor, 11 on the second floor, and 20 on the third floor.
Damn, 20.
Y las 20 bodies, they were found on the spiral staircase that led to the roof. Like, that's where they were all found.
Damn. It's because todos iban para allá, so they all got stuck right there.
And then that's the thing, like...
was the door open of the roof?
It was closed, but it wasn't locked.
Oh, they just couldn't make it?
They just couldn't make it.
They probably couldn't see.
They collapsed
before.
I was gonna say. And I bet you, like I said, you couldn't see. You're probably trampling each other, pisando otra gente to try to make it. Because and they'll say later, like the spiral staircase, it's not wide. They're small, like a spiral staircase.
I just
like
saw
that.
Right now. Yeah, and it's...
I mean, imagine people
maybe
trying
like a foot.
Imagine people just trying to run up that, spiral staircase to make it out the door.
I would take up the whole spiral staircase.
And
I'd be like, no cabes, güey. I'm sorry. Ahí te quedaste a la verga because you're not
And
going.
some of the people were literally like a step or 2 away from the door.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Before they collapsed. Now, when this broke the news, like it shocked not just the country, but like the world, because Japan has one of the lowest crime rates.
Yes, that's
ever.
What I was going to say.
Like,
that
in
doesn't
the world.
happen,
And some of the strictest gun laws. So mass attacks like this don't happen there.
Not with
really,
6 knives.
No. And this attack was one of the worst since World War II for them.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, they are very safe. That their country's very safe.
Roban gente aquí, roban gente acá, but like mass attacks like this are not common.
Not like here.
Not like America.
Merc.
Now we're going to get back to the man que estaba tirado en el piso.
Yeah, I'm wishing on his downfall big time. Hopefully.
As I mentioned, the man had burns on his body and was in pain.
Y el pelo lo tenía
quemado.
Chicharrado a la verga.
And he was heard by witnesses because, I mean, gente were outside, you know? Estaban pelando el ojo. I mean, ¿quién no? He was heard by witnesses muttering. Y estaba enojado el compa. He was muttering in pain, pero también estaba enojado saying, you copied it. And yelling, you ripped me off.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
El amigo estaba bien enojado.
The man was transferred to a hospital too, and he was getting treated along with the other victims. He was quickly identified as Shinji Aoba, but because he was so badly burned and in critical condition, he couldn't be questioned.
Well, yeah.
And it would actually be months until he could be, because Shinji ends up in a coma.
Oh, mames. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I'm praying for his downfall.
The police had a name. So tan siquiera they had somewhere to start at, right?
Well, they needed to find out why was he there? Where was he from? Like,
¿Qué estaba haciendo?
Did he have anything to do with those people there? I mean, did they piss him off? You know?
Yeah. And not because you piss somebody off. It means that they can go ahead and do that. But,
no,
you know,
but I'm just saying,
people,
is there like a reason or like a motive, you know, why he was there?
So the police found out that Shinji was born on May 26, 1978.
Makes him a... May 26th. May 26th? He's not
16.
May 16th?
He's a Taurus, right?
No.
Because Gemini season starts.
Yep, he's a Taurus. Oh my God.
He's a you.
He's a me. No, yo no mato gente.
No.
A mí me da miedo. I don't like going to jail. I wouldn't make it, dude. I'm hungry all the time.
And he was the middle kid out of 3 kids. He was the middle child. At some point, his parents divorced. Y él se fue a vivir con su papá. And I'm not really sure what happened to his mom, but I don't think his mom was in his life after his parents divorced. And I don't know what happened to his other 2 siblings. Pero él se quedó con su papá. Solo.
Maybe they all lived
with the mom,
with
quién
the mom.
sabe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it says that they lived in poverty. Like con su papá, they lived in poverty. And in elementary school, he had like a few friends here and there, but he started getting bullied in middle school.
Why is it always be nice. Be fucking nice.
When he started getting bullied in middle school es cuando él empezó a quedarse en su casa. He didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to go out.
Bro, I'm telling you, be nice.
So he did attend high school and he would work like odd jobs here and there, like at a convenience store or like paper routes or something like that. And his dad ended up passing away 2004, maybe like right before 2005. Y after that, he bounced around from like assisted home livings to like another assisted home livings here and there. Now, he did have a criminal record.
¿Qué hizo?
In June of 2012, he robbed a convenience store in Tokyo.
Oh.
And he got away with it, but then he went and turned himself in.
No, mom.
He was sentenced to 3.5 years in jail.
He's like, I did it and I left, but I'm back.
Yeah, I just here to tell you that I could get away with it. And he was, like I said, he was in prison for 3.5 years and was released in January of 2016. It is reported that he was treated for like a mental illness while he was incarcerated, pero it is not specified what that was, what that mental illness was, or if he continued with treatment after he was released. I don't think he did.
I mean, whenever you don't believe that something's wrong with you, you don't want to get mental treatment, you do not continue mental treatment. I don't know how to feel about him. I feel kind of bad for him, but at the same time, now I'm like, okay, you're stealing. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. Am I still praying for his downfall? I don't know.
After being released, he, because he went to prison for 3.5 years. So ya que salió de ahí.
¿Cuántos años tenía?
At the time of the arson, he was 41.
Oh my God. Okay, so he was an older one.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't, I mean, shit. Cállate older, he's my age. Casi.
Bitch, you're not 40, you're not even close to 41.
But I'm close to 40, so. But anyway, what I'm saying is like he wasn't like the younger ones. Yeah, he knew better.
Oh, yeah.
He knew better. Bitch, you were in jail.
Ahorita que te enseño una foto, you're going to be like, I thought he was in his 20s. After he got out of jail, he lived in housing for inmates that get released and are trying to integrate back into society. Mm-hmm. For several months. So he stayed there for several months. He was able to get his own apartment.
Well, he was trying.
No, but he did it with like it's like apartments for people that are not
I said, but I mean he was trying to get his life together.
And he lived on welfare.
They have welfare in Japan?
Yes, bitch. Shinji,
They have Snap and shit?
I don't know if it's called Snap, pero ahí tienen.
A la madre.
So Shinji was described by neighbors as a recluse. Didn't really...
Y nunca se casó.
No. Didn't really speak to anyone.
Well.
He kept odd hours. Like, he was just out, like, de noche. Y se dormía de día. And he was, like, very unkept. Como que no se bañaba y apestaba.
Ay, pobrecito. A lo mejor no
That
tenía
sort of
jabón.
thing. His neighbors had called the police on him multiple times.
¿Qué hizo?
For noise complaints.
What kind of noises if he was asleep?
He would listen to music really fucking loud, and then he would like blast his video games and television just to like at odd hours. Like I said, despierto en la noche y en el día, pues.
I don't know, but sometimes, you know, maybe like they're so quiet and maybe they would hear that because that would, I mean.
And then they said that the apartments, you know, it was like an they eran del government. Mm-hmm. So they were just like really small and paper thin walls. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In one instance, that the police were called to his apartment, Shinji would not open the door for them. That the police had to go into his apartment through the balcony. And at that, I think it was at that moment también que for some reason the ambulance was called at the same time, pero
he probably said he was going to kill himself. But
it didn't specify why the ambulance was called. Pero
I'm going to tell you something. Está haciendo mamadas. Because if they're not going to just go open the fucking door, I mean, ¿para qué chingados estás haciendo más mamadas?
Yeah.
¿Ya ves? You see?
Now, on July 14th, so 4 days before the attack, because the attack was on July 18th, Shinji got into it with one of his neighbors. Se agarraron. It was over a misunderstanding. There was like a noise coming from one of the apartments, you know, because it was like a complex. So there was noise coming from one of the apartments, pero Shinji pensó que it was one of his next door neighbors. So that were making the noise. So les tocó to kind of tell him like...
Oh, he was telling them to calm down when he's making all this fucking noise.
He was telling them to calm down. So al neighbor que lo tocó la pared, he was like, it's not me. So se salió de su apartamento y le fue a tocar a Shinji para ir a decirle que it wasn't him making the noise. Cuando le fue a tocar a Shinji y Shinji came out of his apartment y el neighbor said that he had like bloodshot eyes and got in his face y le empezó a gritar and telling him to shut up. Y que después, I'm sorry, es que esto me dio risa and I know I shouldn't laugh, pero the neighbor said that he proceeded to grab him by the collar y le jaló el pelo.
No mames.
So
Bro, that's my new thing. If you talk shit to me, I'm gonna fucking pull your hair, motherfucker. I pull bruh, that's badass. You know what? He's a fucking G. He's pulling people's hair and shit.
No, he's not a G. Look what he did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying, because at that moment, he had not burned anything down.
No. And so I guess the police got involved and stuff like that.
Sí, porque si te tiran el pelo, you have to tell. I mean, shit.
And the neighbor said that he was was actually really scared. Like he felt...
I would have been scared too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, like for real. Like, what the fuck? You just pulled my hair out and shit?
You're getting in my face and shit?
Like your eyes are red? Like, that's scary.
So while investigating, police found that Shinji had appeared on cameras in the area of the studio just days before the attack.
Okay.
He was caught on camera.
Did he live around there in that area?
Where he lived was, he had to take a train to be in the area of Kyoto Studio Animation.
Okay.
It wasn't far, but you had to take a train, you know. He was caught on camera on July 16th, which is 2 days before the attack, wearing a red shirt, jeans, a backpack, and something around his waist that kind of looked like a fanny pack, to me at least. Let me show you his picture.
Bro, he looks like...
Does he look 41?
First of all, he looks in his 20s.
Yeah.
Second of all...
He's wearing a fanny pack, right?
It looks like a fanny pack, a backpack. Y lo lleva dos cajas.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get to that right now too.
And he has like his hair como en his face. Como like he
parted.
keeps so he keeps pushing his hair back. Como que lo trae larguito. Pero he looks like he's a little thick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he's pulling on my shirt and pulling my hair, like he looks like he's a little strong.
Tiene fuerza.
Yeah, like he's strong.
So, like you said, he had carrying or he was pushing something. So that was the video that you just saw of him walking. That was July 16th.
Yeah.
The next day on July 17th, he was seen again on camera near the head office building of Kyoto Animation. But not studio building number 1, the head office.
So like...
And when he was seen, he was He was wearing the exact same
I
shit.
was about to say, I was just thinking that. I was going to tell you that he did look like he did not shower because it looked like his clothes was kind of dingy and shit.
Yeah. He was wearing the exact same shit
not
he was
only
wearing the day
that,
before.
but his hair looks fucking greasy as hell.
Yeah.
He looks greasy.
And he was, like you saw, he was pushing like a small hand cart, like kind of like a little trolley. And that looked to have like empty gallons on top of the trolley. That's what he was pushing.
Cajas, like 2 boxes and then a gallon. Yeah, I saw that.
He had bought those that day on the 17th, and he also bought 9 to 10 gallons of gasoline from a nearby gas station.
Pero no tenía carro.
No, you take trains.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. So what do you need 10 gallons of gasoline if you don't got a fucking car?
Right.
Yeah.
He was also seen sleeping on a park bench that night at around 8 or 9 p.m. with the trolley cart right next to him.
So he just took the cart from where?
He bought it.
Oh, he bought it?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like, this is my trolley with the boxes and the gallon. Now I'm going to sleep with my fanny pack and the backpack on.
At this park. That was a little over a quarter of a mile from Studio One.
Okay. So
that was the night before.
So he's like, I'm going to take my little cart y me voy a dormir aquí. Sí. Okay, got it.
So, they found all this stuff out on Shinji. And at the same time that Shinji was being investigated, Hideki Hata, the president and CEO, told investigators that KyoAni had previously received threatening emails the year before in 2018. Initially, the emails were just like hablando mugrero. They were just talking shit, but they escalated to death threats.
Oh, shit.
Telling them to die. And then the person that was sending the emails started naming specific people within the company.
What the fuck?
And then started threatening those people. KyoAni went to the popo. And,
but they couldn't recognize like the email or anything like that? Oh, okay.
I'm about to get there.
Sorry.
As a precaution, the police, they dispatched patrol cars around the studios and even to the homes of the people that were being named in the emails that he was threatening. They also tried to look into the email address, but whoever was sending the emails had used a program that made them untraceable. So they couldn't trace who it was coming from.
Wow. Well, whoever that was not stupid.
Yep. Not only did the studio receive direct threatening emails, but upon further investigation, it was discovered that someone was upset with the studio about a novel that they had submitted to the studio and was rejected. So they were upset about it, and they started putting it out on a bulletin board on the internet. Like, I guess just like like Reddit or something.
Like talking shit about it?
Talking shit. How upset they were. How upset they were.
So that this person, whoever it was, they turned in a novel and they wanted to get published.
Right.
And then they were like, no, I don't want to publish you. So then they started talking shit.
That's what that person was saying.
Okay.
So from September to November of 2018, this person left comments on, like I said, this bulletin board, such as, quote, "They had planned to turn down my draft and betray me from the beginning," end quote. Another one said, quote, "I will never forgive them. And I will attack Kyoto Animation with explosive materials." Okay, so you see Kyoto Animation Studio held an annual novel contest where the public could submit their work. And if you were selected as a winner, it would get either published or it could possibly even be turned into an anime.
Okay.
Now, if you remember from the very beginning, cuando aquel estaba tirado en el piso, that people were saying that Shinji was angrily saying, "You copied it, you ripped me off."
Y no tenía greñas.
No tenía greñas. So with that information, and along with everything else they had discovered, they were starting to possibly see a motive for...
I mean, that's kind of making where I'm going.
Right.
My mind is thinking, okay, well, maybe that was him that wrote it. And he's like, fuck you, bitch. You didn't want my damn movie or work. Yeah.
So the police went to Kyoto Animation and asked them if Shinji had ever submitted any work for the contest. Al principio, they said no. But after searching through archives, they found out that, yes, he had submitted a novel. It actually never made it through the first. It didn't even make it to the first round. It was discarded in the preliminary stages.
Damn.
So it didn't even make it. Because I think you were supposed to submit it into like you were supposed to submit it in a specific format, and he wasn't doing that.
No,
so,
he wanted to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
So it wouldn't even read it. So if it just didn't match the format, I think they would just trash it.
I mean, because they're very particular of what they're asking, so just do it. Pero como he was he wanted to do whatever the fuck he wanted to, you know.
So,
haber dicho lo mal a leer porque lo leen.
So, you know, the novel was turned into the police, and you know, after it was reviewed, apparently they said that it was actually decently done.
Wow.
Yeah.
But if he would have done what he was supposed to do,
maybe it would have gone somewhere.
Yeah.
So all of this was enough for the police to get a warrant, and they went ahead went to search Shinji's apartment. They found a lot of work, but by KyoAni. He had like books and like films, brochures. Y tenía
maybe he wanted to work there.
Tenía artwork about like one of their enemies. Mm-hmm. Police confiscated like tablets and any type of devices that he had in his home. I think even his cell phone. And they were trying to see if maybe they could link any of the comments left on their bulletin board or the threatening emails
to one of the
devices. Yeah. Now, the investigation was all moving along, even though they hadn't talked to Shinji, ¿verdad? Mm-hmm. Because away over there, he was fighting for his life.
Yeah. In coma and shit.
He had third-degree burns over 90% of his body and wasn't expected to survive initially.
No tenía greñas.
The possibility of dying is 99% when the body has a third-degree burn over 90% of its body. So the burn specialist that treated him, Dr. Takahiro.
Oh, he's a cool doctor. Takahiro.
He sounded cool. Yeah. He sounds like a cool guy. Said that when he would go home and return the next day to the hospital, he said that he was scared que le iban a decir that Shinji had died. Mm-hmm.
So every day he would come like worried that he was going to die.
Because he said that he felt like immense pressure to save his life because he needed to make sure that he lived so he could pay for what he had done.
Yeah. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Shinji had to undergo multiple life-saving surgeries. I think it was like 12.
Shit.
And some of the surgeries that he needed were skin grafting. Mm-hmm. So like skin implants.
Yeah.
So those type of surgeries require donor skin. But the hospital prioritized the use of donor skin for the victims primero.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but I would have done the same thing.
And Shinji's surgeries were done with prosthetic skin.
Yeah.
Which was actually...
like pig or whatever?
Making it the first treatment of its kind. So it hadn't been done before, really. And it was actually supposed to be talked about in a medical conference the following year. But the following year was 2020.
Oh, and we know what happened in 2020.
Everybody knows what happened in 2020, you know? Slowly but surely, Shinji started making progress.
With the new advances.
His surgeries and stuff. Yeah. So by September 18, he had regained a bit of his speech. And he began rehab in October. He was transferred to a different hospital in November after his injuries were no longer deemed life-threatening. Mm-hmm. So La Policía interviewed him or went to question him about his crimes, and he reiterated to the police the earlier claims that he had made, and he told investigators that, quote, my novels were stolen.
So I'm confused because, he keeps saying that he was stolen. Like, did they actually, like, they didn't even fucking read your shit. Like, what are you talking about?
So Shinji thought that Kyoto Animation has stolen his work and didn't give him any credit. Like, they took his novel's idea and actually turned it into an anime. And they just wanted to rip him off.
But is there an anime that was kind of like his book, or
no? But so at that point in the investigation, revealed that any work that Shinji had submitted to KyoAni didn't even match anything that the studio had ever put out. Nada. So they thought he might be suffering from like delusions or from his mental illness. Pero todavía no lo podían arrestar because he still had a long way. As far as recovery went, he could barely speak. He couldn't even sit up. He couldn't even move or anything like that.
He wasn't going to escape. That's what they were.
He wasn't going to run away.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get rid. Okay.
So they weren't like.
I was worried about that a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Que se fuera a salir, you know.
Sin greñas.
Sin greñas. I mean, crisp. I'm just saying.
It would be until May 27, 2020 that Shinji Aoba would finally be arrested. So it was 10 months after the arson attack. So not only did his injuries prevent an earlier arrest, but the world shut down because of COVID.
No.
And they had to wait until, Japan lifted some of its restrictions a little bit. After that, he was then transferred over to the Fushimi Police Department on a stretcher. You could see pictures of this. They're wheeling him out on a stretcher. He looks like a completely different person. Like he looks his 40 years now when he's being moved out of that stretcher. Let me show you.
Because he's crisp. I'm being serious. Like, you know what? I don't like this person very much. He's trash.
Ya tiene greñas.
Bro, what the fuck? No parece la misma persona.
Right.
Mames.
He looks older, right?
Oh my gosh. Ya le creció el pelo? No, he literally, Estela just showed me a picture and he's wearing a mask and you can already tell it doesn't even look like the same person that she had showed me before. That's crazy. I think that maybe from the injuries and all of that, it's probably what happened. Because
skin transplants and all that stuff. He was again then questioned some more. He told police that he chose Studio 1 because it would have the most casualties.
Fucker.
And he was also questioned about the hammer and the 6 knives that were found near the front door of the studio.
I didn't know about the knives. Why do you need 6?
Shinji said that he brought those in case the front door was locked and that he needed to break a window to get in. And that the knives were for if somebody tried to stop him, that he would attack them with the knives. So when he was walking around, he, because at first he was seen near the head office. Yeah. And then near Studio 1, he was scoping out the buildings to see which one had the most people.
Okay. So you needed 6 knives for that?
He was going to be able to use them at the same time. Quien sabe, I don't think so. But I guess he just wanted to make sure.
Samurai
just in case.
And shit?
Samurai Jack and shit?
Fucking shit, man. Pinche octopus, you needed all of those fucking knives? Stupido.
The prosecution requested that Shinji be psychologically evaluated.
I hate it when they start with that shit.
Which the Kyoto District Court approved. His evaluation lasted 3 months. And it began on June 10 and was completed on September 10th. He was found mentally competent to stand trial. Yeah. After that evaluation, his defense also requested their own. And again, it was approved by the Kyoto District Court. Shinji's second evaluation ended on December 11th of 2020 and was again deemed competent to stand trial.
Pues órale, güey. Pues, ¿qué están esperando, pues?
Shinji was indicted on December 16th, 2020 on charges including murder, attempted murder, arson, breaking and entering, and violating the firearms and sword control law.
Yeah, as he should. He didn't need 6 knives.
Yeah, he sure did not. Now, as of July, which is what I could find most recently, July 2022, a date hasn't even been set for a pre-trial hearing.
Oh, he's going to sit there for life.
And so we don't even know when he's going to go to trial.
That's so crazy.
And I couldn't find, I think they're hoping to have a date this year, pero quien sabe. I'm not sure what the holdup is. I don't know what the laws or how it works in Japan.
I was about to say, maybe their laws are a little bit different.
Yeah. I guess they're trying to figure out, quien sabe. I don't know how his injuries are now. I know it's been like 3 years now.
I mean, fucking, like, at least go ahead and do the trial, fucking put him in jail and ya que se muera. Like, what the hell? I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean,
I don't know if they have the death penalty, to be honest.
No, because se muera because if his injuries are, yeah.
Oh, no, his injuries aren't life-threatening anymore. I just don't know if he can walk properly or, if he can, I don't know.
Get a fucking video. I mean, shit, get a wheelchair.
Now, when this first happened, there was some talk about how if it was Kyoto Animation's, if they could have done anything to prevent the fire, porque they didn't have a sprinkler system. And the front door was unlocked and open for anyone just to walk in.
But that's...
in regard to them not having...
That's actually protocol because you need to be able to run out if you need to in case of a fire. Like, there has to be, like, protocol, like, In
regard to them not having a sprinkler system, they actually didn't need one because the building was small and it wasn't required. And the building complied with fire safety regulations. So there was nothing they could do there. And I did read...
They were probably trying to get some money from them. I mean, do they do that over there?
I don't know.
Like to sue? Yeah.
I don't know. And I did read some reports that stated that the front door was usually locked, but that they were expecting visitors that day. So they just left it open.
Yeah, because I think you had to have like a way out or like a plan and shit. Like,
I mean, at my company, we have like a side door that you come in through like the parking garage.
But there's a fire exit, right?
No, I mean, we're supposed. like some people just walk in through there, like random ass people, and then you'll see people in the hallways and you're like, bro, the front exit is literally have to go around the whole fucking building. And literally you need to go talk to the receptionist.
Damn.
But people enter through the side doors. Sometimes it'd be scary because you just don't know.
You just don't know. No, fuck no. You just do not know. Yeah.
So after...
But over here where I used to work, the doors you could only, in the back, you could only go out, but you couldn't come back in. So a lot of the times, like if you needed, like that was the fire exit. Like if everybody ran, we all knew we needed to run to that door.
To the back.
Because if somebody was following us, like God forbid something happens, you run that way and the door will be locked behind you. So that was the only door that did that.
Yeah.
Because that was our fire exit. Yeah. And you have a plan and stuff. So I'm guessing that's what they had to have too.
After the arson attack, KyoAni did suspend work for like about a month for all operations. So some of the surviving employees returned to work about 3 months after the attack, but understandably struggled to focus on work because they had like PTSD and shit. Yeah. And according to Hideki Hata, others had not been able to return to work because at that time, by like October and stuff like that, they were still being treated for their injuries.
Wow.
So by October, Kyoto Animation, somebody started like a GoFundMe. They received over $29 million in donations to help them like come back because they just had to halt production and, you know, they couldn't pay their other employees. And, you know, all this work that was in this building that these people were creating just gone. Yeah. It was just all gone.
And then whatever was in like in the studio or whatever they had, like their papers and stuff like that.
And I'm sure that doesn't matter compared to the lives. I'm saying,
but still, you know, I mean, of course. Right. But what I'm saying is in regards to them needing the money to pay, then I can see that because if they're working on projects or something and it was all in there, you have to fucking start all over
from ground zero.
I mean, it's just a lot. Yeah.
So a decision was made to demolish the building. And initially they were just going to demolish and they hadn't decided if they were going to rebuild it or not. But I believe last year in 2022, it was decided that a memorial site would be built instead there for the victims. Like a park, like people could go sit there and like a bench and stuff like that. Yeah. And now a memorial service has been held on the site on the anniversary day of the attack since 2020. So I think they just had the third year anniversary memorial this past July. And it's mostly for the victims. I think they stream on YouTube like a remembrance of the people that died that day. And it's mostly for families and they give eulogies and they speak, you know, about their loved ones that they lost that day.
Pobrecitos, that's crazy.
And that's the case about the Kyoto Animation Studio Massacre.
Dude, no tenía nada que hacer el güey, honestly. There was no reason for you to do that. No reason. They weren't fucking with you. No te estaban haciendo nada.
For nothing.
For nothing. Like, absolutely nothing.
And I know people die for nothing. I mean, sadly, it happens often, very often. Pero I'm like...
In particular, this case right here, this was unnecessary. Like, so unnecessary. And if you go online, you can actually see him cuando está tirado a la verga en el piso. And his pants are all fucking burnt. But I'm just saying, like, bro, there's no reason for that. But I wonder if he was trying to kill himself or did he try to leave? Did he try to run out?
He ran out.
He ran out. Aguanta, compa. ¿Por qué chingos no aguantan? Oh, I hate that shit. I hate when they fucking do that.
Yeah, but I mean, he lived. And hopefully it is to pay for whatever it is that he did. Does.
Yeah, because I think that the young people that were there, they deserve their justice. That's fucked up. They were just working, like, chilling.
It's like, okay, like... You just going on about your day on the regular. Like, I'm just going to go grocery shopping like I do any other day.
Or going to work and I'm going to sit here and do my...
Or go to the movies and I'm just going to watch a movie. Or, you know, you can't be doing nothing nowadays.
Please stop being trash.
And don't be burnt trash.
Don't be burning people. How about that?
Yeah.
And you don't need 6 knives.
And keep your hands to yourself.
How about that?
Don't be trash.
Don't be trash.
And have a good day, guys. Thank you very much for listening.
So that was the end of our number 37 episode. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for everybody's support. We will not stop thanking everybody. I know that we said this, but we cannot stop saying thank you. We're still having a good time.
Yep.
And thank you for joining us on
today's episode.
After hours.
After hours. Yeah. Well, after hours for us, but I don't know if it's after hours for you guys. But if it is, cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.